Hello and welcome to my channel. I thought today we'd kind of finish up the rest of this collar, stop collar. What I need to do is put some threads, this goes this way, put some threads to hold this rod in here. And I need to put a hole in this handle. And I've got some dimensions. Needs to go in the middle. This is 1 inch. Needs to go a ½ inch into the middle and 1 7/16 down. 1.4375. And I figured I'd go about a 64th over, 16 thousandths over to make sure it goes in the hole. And then to hold this on here, I was going to put some threads in here. But let's get over to the mill and put this hole in there right away. Let's do that. Okay, that's a ½ inch edge finder. Center of the spindle is a 1/4 inch off the back. So I just need to move another 1/4 inch and I will be in the center of this handle. All right, I'm gonna touch off on the front of this, zero it, and move 1/437. Re-zero it. $250. Zero it. And 1, 2, 3. I was going to put a 1/8 inch pilot hole in there because the web on this drill is about 95 thousandths, and it'll just help it find the center a little easier. Let's change that out to my drill bit. This is a 64th, 16 thousandths over 3/8. A little oil on there. Drill it through. All right, let's get this out of here and start threading that rod. Let's do that. All right, that hole went in there pretty nice, pretty easy. That was a simple part of this. Okay, I'm just gonna slide that in there and see if these two holes line up. And they do. That's a good thing. Now, what I want to do is thread this for, let's say, 1.5 inches. And I was going to put a couple of nuts on here. I found these nuts in a can, and they're identical to the ones I have on this side that was with the machine. I don't know where I got them. But how I was going to put those threads on. When I came out here, I was just going to run a die over this. That's no fun. I might still end up doing that if I ruin everything, but or smash everything up. But what I'm talking about is I want to single point this for about 1.5 inches. I've got some dimensions. I drug out all my old books. I drug out my wires, thread wires, to measure it. It took a couple of minutes to remember how to do this, but I mean, I was involved with all the threading and stuff where I was working was, but we're doing hobby stuff, so we need to know how to do this with wires. So, I've got some dimensions. I'm pretty sure you're not really interested in how I come up with these dimensions, but let's get over to the lathe, put this in there, and start threading. Let's do that. My compound is on 30 degrees. Parts in there. First thing I want to do is put an undercut. I was just going to take my grooving tool and or cutoff tool and just put undercut 60 thousandths, so that when I'm turning this off and on, I get to just thread right into the groove, and I don't have to worry about swinging it out, pulling it out before it hits the other side and breaks it. Let's do that. Power's on. Forward. In gear. Okay, I'm going to change tools, and I'm going to start threading. I'm going to touch off, zero it. This is already zeroed. I'm going to be feeding with my compound. I've already put the new or different change gears in. I had to change it from, here, let me show you these. These are the gears that were in there. They're 80 tooth gears. I had to change those to 40 tooth gears and change the configuration and stuff in there. And that is according to what it said on the chart on the side of this guard here. Hopefully it's right. Okay, let's try this. That is zero. I probably haven't done this for 25 or 30 years. But we're going to do it today. I'm going to engage the half nut on the same line. It's just safer. And I'm going to feed it in on with my compound. That's because I want it only to feed to the left and only cut with the front of the tool. I don't want the back of the tool to drag. So I'm going to take about a 2,000 cut and see how this goes. See, that was a lot easier than trying to pull out and disengage. I'm only concentrating on disengaging the half nut. Feed in another 2,000ths. It looks pretty good so far. Probably should have made my groove a little bit deeper. According to the dial, that is finished. I'm going to take a couple of free passes, air passes, whatever you want to call it, cleanup passes, and I'll measure it with the wires. This is my air pass. One more air pass. Feels nice and clean. I'm going to hit it with a file. I'm going to try to put a nut on it first. Not yet. Let's check it with the wires. I'm going to put this here because I don't want to lose my wires. The dimension over the wires should be 400 thousandths. And how I do it is I put my two wires on the bottom, one wire on the top. Woo! It's just like I remember it. I quit going to the same line before engaging. I started going on any line and it was just fine. I just didn't know if this little lathe would follow suit on how it was supposed to be. That actually should be going on if it actually cut the correct threads. Where is my thread gauge? This is something I should have done right after I made my first pass. 16. It's just going to tell me if I cut the right threads. And it appears like I cut the right threads. You know what? Maybe the OD is over. No. I'm going to knock that down though. That's what it was. The OD was too big. The OD was, the threads were right to a point. But according to the wires, it was right on nominal. Let's get this out of here and put it together. See what it looks like. All right. That was fun. All right. This one goes up like that. This one goes down. That is right. Let's see. The reason I threaded that is because I was asked, and I can't remember who it was. And I'm sure if you're watching, you'll remind me. You asked, why didn't I just thread the end of this instead of drilling and tapping and putting all this in? And I really didn't have an answer. That's the way I was thinking when the time come. I'm still thinking I might pin this in place. If I ever have to do some left-hand taps, it will probably have to be pinned. Okay. There's about 1/4 inch sticking out, and that's why I gave extra room here so I could extend it, which I'm going to do right now. All right, that is my spindle and tapper connected. That little lathe performed a lot better than I thought. Performed a lot better than me. I was kind of nervous there. Haven't done that in a long time. But I think the hardest part was figuring out all my geometry. And I have these old books, and my wires probably haven't been used in 30 years also. Actually, probably longer than that, because I used to have thread mics. But this turned out okay. Okay, I need to get to all the grunt work. I need to start cleaning all the other parts so all of this can go together. But I got done with what I wanted to in this video, so I'm going to have to say, until next time. Enjoy.